It's funny, some days I get up quite early. I feel like I was up before 7 today, and the earlier I wake up, the less prepared I am for class. It's like I just try to pack too many things in before the class actually is scheduled to begin. So today we are going to do a similar practice to what I taught yesterday. Let me find my notes from yesterday. You can fast forward through this part. Okay, I didn't have very many notes. I remember most of it though. So I talked about doing Firefly. That didn't happen. We had a very slow starting out introductory period yesterday, and that was just kind of where I was at. So I typically teach from my own experience, and hopefully that experience resonates with you a lot of the time. We'll do a few balance poses, kind of the peak pose or the most challenging pose as far as just getting into the shape is going to probably be flying pigeon today. So let's see what happens. I also wanted to share a quote that a student left on the message board yesterday. A long time yoga friend of mine, Lisa, left this quote, and I thought it was very applicable to the class yesterday. So it is between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. So that quote is from Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. And I think that this really applied to class yesterday. And the reason I was talking about this yesterday in class was based on my experience as a mother recently. I've been really I've been concerned with my children's ability to focus their attention on things other than screens, and I think a lot of what concerns me in parenting, what concerns me, what I see in my children, are things that concern me that I see in myself. So that's a huge gift that yoga has given me, like the greater ability to focus. And I was explaining to my daughter yesterday that her brain is a very powerful thing, but it requires focus. It requires focus to harness that power. So I think that relates to the quote in that the focus kind of comes in that being able to take a moment after you've been inundated with some sort of stimulus. Perhaps it's a physical stimulus, or you're getting information that is even shocking to your system, is being able to recognize your perspective, the perspective that you want to take in looking at that thing and reacting to that thing, instead of just things coming at you and you putting things out without really thinking about what you're putting out or why you're putting it out or how it's going to resonate. Okay, so enough chit chat. Thank you, live viewers. You can let me know who you are if you'd like to. I'm also open to anonymity. So I'm going to begin the audio podcast, and we'll try to keep this to around 75 minutes. If you know me, I'm not that good at keeping it to around 75 minutes. So, okay. So we'll begin the asana practice today by coming to a comfortable cross-legged seated position, perhaps up on some padding. So props will be handy today. So if you have a block, bring it over to your space. If you have a blanket, a firm blanket or a firm pillow, get that too. If you have a strap, get that. If you have something that can act as a strap, that's, a lot of things can act as a strap, a necktie or a bath towel. So have those things nearby so you don't have to scramble to get them later. And when you have created the space, sit in your cross-legged seat. Place your hands on your thighs and close your eyes. If you have established a home practice where you come to this space, perhaps roughly at the same time each time you practice, you may begin to notice that there is a focus, a centering that happens just with the routine of making this shape and coming into this space. So that might be an indicator or reflection that we are beginning to reroute our minds. We are beginning to direct our focus in a conscious way. Settle down through your legs and hips, creating that sense of rootedness, that sense of connection between your body and the earth. And then from that connection, draw up from the earth, grow tall along your spine, shrug your shoulders up towards your ears to lengthen the sides of your body, and then loop your shoulder blades together behind your heart. Feel the upper back contract as the chest opens and lifts, and then allow the forearms to melt towards the floor. Shoulder blades now sliding down the back side of the chest. Likely this attention to opening the chest has caused your head to tilt back. Bring your chin down parallel to the floor. Draw the sides of your neck back as you lift and lengthen along the back of your skull. Bring a fingertip or two to your upper abdomen. Create a tone in that area by drawing your left and right front lower ribs into a central point. And then subtly push that point, ease that point towards your back body, creating strength at your core and length through your lower back. Place your hand back to your thigh and begin to notice your breath. So it's difficult to notice the breath without immediately trying to change it. That's okay, because we are going to start to manipulate the breath. Breathe more deeply, more slowly, in and out through your nostrils. And relating the experience of your breath back to this quote about the space between stimulus and response. So you will start to notice the qualities of your breath, and then consider what your reaction is to that. And then consider if you can delay that reaction. Just have some time to sit with what the breath is. And then for me, typically I invite a deeper sense of acceptance into that space. That's usually what I feel I need in my life. begin the practice of Ujjayi Pranayama by drawing in a gentle contraction at the back of your throat. Listen to the sound of your own breath. Let that sound act as a sweet soundtrack to your breath meditation. Consider the layers and complexity of each breath, that each breath is different. Each moment of each breath has been built upon a foundation of the past. Surrender to the experience of your breath, of your body, of the present moment. Consciously follow the breath through 3 more full and complete cycles. And when you have completed those 3 breath cycles, please draw your palms together at heart center. As you press your palms lightly together, widen out through your elbows and broaden across your collarbones. Exhale, empty the lungs, and we'll inhale for the first of 3 Ohms. Bow your head to your heart, release your palms to your thighs, then slowly lift your head as you open your eyes. We're going to switch the cross of our legs, bring the opposite ankle on top, bring your right hand behind your right hip, cross your left hand to your right thigh. Inhale to grow tall, and exhale, begin to revolve. Left to right, bottom to top, inside to outside in our first twist here. Hug your right shoulder blade to the back of your heart. Gently ease the head of the left arm bone away from your left ear, stretching the trapezius muscles on the left side. Take your gaze towards the back wall and maybe perhaps over your right shoulder with the left eye leading the gaze. Now once you have the shape, infuse the pose with your breath. Inhale, explore space, create space within. Exhale, expand and revolve deeper into the shape. Keep the left hand as it is, right arm extends up along the right ear, reaching out of the right waistline. And as you exhale next, lean the upper body over the left shin, over the left thigh. Use the left hand to draw the left shoulder forward as you widen the right ribs back. Take the gaze up beyond the right tricep muscles. Relax the jaw, soften the edges of your mouth. Notice what you're feeling and where you're feeling it. Can you direct breath, prana, vital energy along the affected areas of the shape? And then inhale, come back up, staying with the chest angled over the right thigh. We're just gonna lean forward. Keep the left hip tacked down as you now round the spine. Chin to chest, forehead towards or to the knee. Now extending along the left side as well as opening up space between the vertebrae along the back of the body. Keeping the hips grounded, the legs released. Now walk your way back up to center and we'll do the second side. Left hand behind the hip, right hand crosses to the left thigh. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale and revolve. Right to left, bottom to top, inside to outside. Left shoulder blade on the back, right head of the arm bone away from the right ear. Look back, lead the gaze with the right eye, chin parallel to the floor. And then once you have the twist, begin to infuse the pose with breath, with awareness, with the movement of energy consciously along your spine. Right hand stays, left arm reaches. Keep the left hip grounding as you lean the upper body at an angle over the right thigh. Use the left hand to pull the right shoulder, or use the right hand to pull the right shoulder forward as you look up beyond your left tricep muscles. Soften the jaw, relax the edges of the mouth, stay rooted from the left hip to the earth. Breathe along the left side body. Notice what you're feeling, where you're feeling. And be present in the noticing. Live in this observational space for a few breaths. Inhale, come back to center. Lean the upper body over the left thigh and then start to walk the upper body at an angle towards the left before rounding the spine. Chin to chest, forehead towards or to the knee. Likely the right hip has lightened or lifted. Try to wrap the right outer hip towards the earth as you reach out through the right fingertips. So now again, expanding along the right side body from the waistline back to the outer hip, from the waistline out through the right fingertips. And then again, this curling of the back body, space between the vertebra. Come back to center and let's just fold forward. Arms reach forward, round the spine, chin to chest, forehead towards or to the knees, hips stay grounded. Slowly walk your way back up. And we'll come out of this cross-legged seat and into a tabletop position. Plant your wrists below your shoulders, spread your fingers into your palms, knees are hip-width distance as we move into our cat and cow stretches. Inhale, belly and chest down, tailbone and gaze lift into cow pose. As you exhale, begin to round the spine, chin to chest, tailbone towards the floor, belly button towards the ceiling, push the earth away, down and forward. Cat pose, and with the breath, move back to cow. As you move through these two shapes, take that time to observe the stimulus here. So what are you feeling? Where are you feeling it? What is this pose alerting to you? Where is your mind being drawn into your body? Take a moment to observe, and then consider your options of how you might begin to move in a way that your practice becomes an expression of your experience on the mat today. So this might mean holding in one shape or the other. It might mean shifting the hips from side to side, making circles with the hips in one direction and in the other, or bending the elbows down. And after some spinal exploration, we're going to swing the legs forward and come to lying on our backs. So as I said, have a strap handy. We will use it here for a series of Supta Padangusthasana or hand to big toe pose. Extend out through your legs, round through your left thigh, and draw your right knee in and up towards your chest. Loop the strap around your right foot, and then extend your right leg straight. Reach the heel, pull back through the toes, and communicate with the back of your right leg. So first, focus on extension, making the back of the leg long. And then once the back of the leg is at its full extension, begin to lift the heel towards a 90-degree angle, keeping enough slack on the strap so that the back of the head and the back of the shoulders remain grounded. So as you focus on the right leg, keep the left leg grounded. The left leg is your stabilizing the hips, the leg is stabilizing the leg. That's a true statement, right? Okay, then bring the right leg past that 90-degree angle if that feels possible, if that feels helpful. So take a moment to experience the stimulus here. So be present in that space before reaction. And then if you need to react, if you need to change your position, then you can move out of the intensity of the shape by more slack on the strap, or you can move deeper into the intensity of the shape by walking the hand closer or even to the right foot. We're going to pass the right foot into the right hand. Left hand actively grounds the left thigh as we wind the right leg out to the right. Keep the left outer hip wrapping towards the floor to create an expansion across the front of the pelvis. And then from the right inner groin, you extend all the way out through the inseam of the right leg. I started to say to infinity, and a friend of mine commented that I was probably thinking of Buzz Lightyear in that moment, which is very likely true. But I think I held myself back because instead of thinking of this energy just continuing out from the groin out into infinity, I like the idea that the energy wraps around the foot. So this extension wraps around the foot and then becomes contraction from the outer foot to the outer right hip. So the energy is kind of making a circuit around the right leg. Okay, keep the left hip tacked down. Draw the right leg back through center, and we're going to pass the right foot into the left hand. Right arm extends out to the right, then slowly bring the right leg over to the left. So the right hip's going to stack on top of the left. Tack the right shoulder back down so this becomes a twist. Hips are pointing left. Front of the hips are pointing left as the chest turns to the sky. Contrapposto, we might call that. Notice what you're feeling, where you're feeling. Again, focusing taking the time to be present with the experience of the pose before we start to make manipulations, before we start to react to our experience. Okay, from here, right leg comes back to center. Left foot to the floor. Draw the right knee in and up towards the right armpit, and then interlace the fingers around the right foot, coming to a half happy baby pose. Push the foot into the hands, and then with the hands, draw the right knee down towards or to the floor at the outside of the right ribs. So this might be where you want to be today. Take a moment to listen. Take a moment to experience the stimulus of this pose, and then decide what to do next. Is it appropriate to extend the left leg straight? If so, notice what happens when you do extend the left leg straight. Likely the right knee is going to pop up. Try to get the left heel down as you extend through the foot. Try to push the back of the left leg deeper towards the floor. Continue the push and pull with the foot and the hands. And so much to do. You got to keep breathing through this whole process. So moving this slowly, sometimes can feel very challenging because it's like, oh, well, not a whole lot's going on. But if we are in that experience of the poses, you can really delve deep into this and recognize that there is a lot going on. There's a lot of dynamic. It's a dynamic experience, even if it just seems like you're sitting somewhat still. Okay, from here, left foot back to the floor if it's not already. And hook the right ankle over the left thigh. Draw the left knee in towards the chest, keeping the right foot flexed and the ankle straight. Interlace your fingers behind your left thigh and then begin to pull the right shin closer towards your chest. So this is our first pigeon-like shape today, and as I mentioned for the live stream audience, that there's going to be a little foray into a flying pigeon later, which is an arm balance. So commune with the right hip, and there'll be several options here to change up this pose if it feels appropriate for your body. Okay, so first option is to interlace the fingers around the front of the left shin. Second option would be to hook the elbows underneath the shin as you extend the left leg straight and peel the head and shoulders up away from the floor. Third option would be to cradle the shin with the arms so that the knee comes into the right elbow and the foot comes into the left elbow, extending forward through the left leg, curling the head and shoulders up off the floor. And final option here would be to take the left elbow underneath the right ankle, keeping the foot flexed, and then wrap the right arm behind the head and interlace the fingers, allowing you to release the weight of the head back into the crook of your elbow. Again, notice the right hip, which is the main point of focus in this. If it's not the main point of focus for the posture in your body, that's okay. That just means something else is tighter. So focus on that area. Okay, bend the left foot back to the floor. Extend the right leg straight up. Wrap your arms behind the right leg. Extend your left leg straight as you peel your head, neck, and shoulders up away from the floor. Tuck your chin to your chest. Pull your forehead towards or to your legs. Slide your fingertips up towards your right heel. Draw your belly button in towards your spine for a little crunch and abdominal workout for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Head down, legs down. Extend both legs out and relish a long right leg for a moment, and then we'll have to do all that on the second side so we're not walking around in circles all day. Okay, right leg grounds, left knee into the chest, loop the strap around your left foot and extend your left leg straight. So again, make it top priority first order of business to lengthen along the back of the left leg and then pull back through the toes. Widen through the left outer hip. And then once the leg is extended, begin to lift the heel towards that 90-degree angle. If that 90-degree angle, if you listen, communicate with that 90-degree angle and feel that you are interested in more stimulation from this pose, then begin to extend the leg past that 90-degree angle. Right thigh stays grounded. Hands start to move up towards the foot as you go deeper into this shape. Again, there's plenty to do here, plenty to notice, and all the time we're breathing, changing the energy of the pose as we breathe. Pass the foot or the strap into the left hand. Right hand grounds the right thigh. Widen the left leg out to the left slowly. So make a circuit of energy from your left inner groin out through your left inner foot, and then contract from the outer foot to the outer hip. So that energy loops around extends from the inner thigh to the outer foot and loops around the foot and draws back to the outer hip. Right thigh grounds, the space across the front of your pelvis remains broad. If you're listening and you want more from this, you can start to lift the heel higher. Draw the top of the left leg closer to the left side of the body. Bring the left leg back to center, pass the foot or the strap into the right hand. Left arm can widen out to the left as you ease the left leg over to the right, stacking the hips. Again, this is a revolved pose, meaning that the chest is pointing skyward and the hips are pointing 90 degrees to the right. Widen the left outer hip away from your face, lengthening through the low back on the left side. Notice what you're feeling, where you're feeling. And in this space of observation, consider the opportunity to enjoy your experience of the present moment. Enjoy practice. So often you get this reaction from students of like, oh, it's so hard to get to class, but I'm so glad I came. And part of that is I'm so glad it's over. I'm so glad it's over. I'm so glad I went through that. But getting through it is one thing. Being present through it is an even greater gift you can give to yourself. Okay, left leg back to center. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I like yoga. Right foot to the floor. Left knee in and up towards your chest, and then we're going to come to half happy baby once again. Grab the foot, interlace the fingers, kick the foot into the hand, then pull the knee down towards the floor. Kick and pull. And again, listen, assess, decide to extend the right leg straight or keep the knee bent. Then what effect does the straightening of the leg have if you have taken that option? Ground the heel, ground the calf. Be present with your experience, and notice although we are moving slowly, there is a lot of subtle energy movements to tune into. You know, I'm just thinking like this is such a drawn out drawn out sequence, and some days I have a very hard time practicing this way. I have a very difficult time teaching this way. Some days it just feels like the right thing to do. Okay, so from here we're going to come into that hip stretch. Right foot to the floor, flex the left foot, cross the left ankle over the right thigh, draw the right knee into the chest, shin coming parallel with the chest. Interlace the fingers behind the right thigh or in front of the right shin. You can use the left elbow to widen the left knee away. So stay here, or hook the elbows underneath the shin, extend the right leg straight, peel the head and shoulders up away from the floor. Focus on the left hip. Ask the left hip if there is more desired from this shape. If so, you might cradle the shin in the right elbow, the foot in the right elbow, the knee in the left elbow, interlace the fingers. And then final option, if you'd like, hook the right elbow underneath the ankle, left arm over the left ear, bend the elbow, then grab the fingers. Keep the foot strongly flexed. If this causes any pain in the knee, give the leg more support. Release the head back into the elbow, reach through the right foot, lower the right leg towards the floor. Breathe down into the left outer hip if that is in fact the area of most focus, most stimulus. Release everything. Right foot back to the floor. Extend your left leg up once again, and then wrap your arms behind your leg. Extend your right leg straight. Curl your chin and chest. Chin towards your chest, your forehead towards your leg as you pull your leg towards your forehead, belly button in towards your spine, round the back body, extend through both feet, ground the right leg down, inner thigh wraps towards the floor for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly lower down. Hopefully your legs are similar, if not the same length at this point. And we're going to draw the knees into the chest. Start to rock and roll along your spine. A few times, maybe each roll getting a little bit bigger, a little more vigorous, until you can rock forward and come up to standing. Stand in Tadasana. With your feet apart, or with your feet together. I'm going to take the base of my big toes to touch. If that doesn't feel right for you, keep your feet hip width distance. We're going to do a little pranayama here to open up the shoulders after all that good leg and hip work. Interlace your fingers underneath your chin. We're going to do 2 sets of 5, switching the interlace of the fingers between the 2 sets. So with your knuckles at your chin, as you inhale next through the nostrils, lift your elbows skyward, lengthening along the sides of the body. As you exhale through the mouth, look up and back as you bring your elbows together. 1. Inhale through the nostrils, elbows lift. Exhale audibly through the mouth as the head goes back. 2. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. How do I lose track when it's just 5? I don't know. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. Head forward, arms down. Look at your fingers as they are interlaced, and then bring the opposite index finger, opposite thumb in front. Bring those knuckles back below your chin. Inhale. Exhale, head back audibly through the mouth. Inhale, gaze forward, elbows up. Exhale. 2. Inhale. Exhale. 3, inhale. Exhale. 4. Last one, best one, biggest breath in. And exhale. Release the arms, bring the head up. Let's do circles with the shoulders. Forward, up, back, down. Big movements. And in the other direction. Back, up, forward, down. The hula hooping of the shoulders. Okay. Arms at your sides, palms forward, Tadasana. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead. And exhale, flow forward. Fingertips to the floor in front of you. Release your head down. Inhale, palms come to the shins, shoulder blades on the back, chin and chest forward. Exhale and fold in. Inhale, rise to standing, arms overhead, palms touch as you look up. Exhale, hands through heart center and arms to your sides, Tadasana. 2 more. Inhale, sweep up. Inhale, movement with breath as you fold forward, release your head. Inhale, palms to shins, half lift, shoulder blades on the back. Exhale and flow forward. Inhale to rise. Exhale, Tadasana, hands through heart center. Last one with your own breath. Okay, we're gonna try something a little different, a little silly and fun today. Silly and fun, that's how I describe my class. Okay, so this is called a C salutation. You can just watch me for the first one. I'm gonna try it with my feet together. Not sure if my preference is feet together or feet apart, but it's gonna look similar to a sun salutation. Arms up with the inhale. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, sink the hips down, reach the arms forward to a half chair pose. And then exhale, hips go down, legs swing over the head. Inhale, come back up, half chair. Exhale, fold forward deeply. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. And inhale, rise. Exhale, hands through heart center and arms to the sides. Try to join me on this second one. Inhale, arms sweep up, look up, palms touch. Exhale, flow forward. Inhale, lift halfway. And exhale, fold. Inhale, sit in the seat, arms forward, waistline back. Exhale, sit the hips down, swing the legs overhead. And inhale, swing back up into a half chair pose. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise with the breath. Arms overhead, palms touch. Exhale, hands through heart center, arms to your sides. Again, you'll get the hang of it. Inhale, sweep up. I'll get the hang of it. Exhale, flow forward. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Sit down into your chair. Inhale, half chair. Exhale, sink the hips, swing the legs overhead. Inhale, come back forward, a little tricky. Find your seat. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise with the breath, arms overhead. Exhale, palms through heart center and arms to your sides. One more. Inhale, sweep up, look up. Exhale, flow forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Sit in your chair. Inhale, half chair. Exhale, swing the legs overhead. Inhale, roll back up, wave back up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, flow forward. Inhale to rise. And exhale, hands through heart center and arms to your sides. Okay, from here we're going to come to eagle pose. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead. Exhale, right arm underneath your left arm. Cross your forearms, bring your palms together or grab opposite shoulders. Lift the forearms up, lift the elbows up, forearms away from the face. Sink your hips down into your fierce bar stool. Shift weight into your right leg, lift your left leg up and over. Point the left toes back or attempt to wrap your left foot behind your right ankle if that's accessible, if it feels safe for the knees. If your foot is wrapped, begin to shift your knees towards the left, towards center. Sink the hips down, upper body back, forearms away from the face, elbows lift, weight in the standing foot heel. Find a point to focus your gaze and breathe. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly get out of there, unwind, sweep the arms overhead. Exhale, left arm underneath your right. Forearms cross, palms touch or grab shoulders. Elbows up, forearms away from the face. Sink down into your awkward chair or awkward bar stool or fierce bar stool. Weight in the left foot, right leg lifts. The higher the leg lifts, the more space you'll have to wrap. If it feels okay for the knees, wrap. If it feels accessible, wrap. If it doesn't, you can keep the toe pointed or bring the foot to the floor like a bicycle kickstand. Elbows lift, forearms away from the face, upper body back. Sink weight down into the left heel as you melt the hips towards the floor. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Unwind. Sweep the arms overhead. Look up as you reach up and exhale, arms to your sides. We're just going to go ahead and do our flying pigeon pose now, since we're already standing. Okay, so this is another pose where we're going to have some options as far as where your body is requesting that you stop. So the first step is going to be to take your left foot to the floor, square your hips towards the wall that you're facing, flex your right foot, and then cross your right ankle over your left thigh. Widen the right knee towards the back wall, extend down through the inseam of the right leg. Establish a gaze. Find some balance. Root down through the left leg. And then option 2, bend the left knee, sink the hips back and down. Keep the hips squared towards the wall in front of you. And then next option is to start to hinge at the hips, fold over the right shin, and then bring your hands to the floor or to blocks in front of you. Okay, here's a good place to be. Listen, check it out, assess whether it is appropriate to go further today. Okay, so hook the right foot to the outside of the left arm, trying to get the shin high up towards the armpits. Shift the upper body weight forward, possibly starting to come up onto the left toes. Shift the weight forward, ground the hands, and then lift the left leg away from the floor as the shin rests on the shelf of the arms. Look forward, reach the left leg back, lift through the back inner thigh, hold it for 10 minutes, JK, and come on out of there when you are ready. Oh, whew. Okay, shake it out a little bit. Oh, okay, second side, and we'll go through all of those same options. The same thing happened yesterday where I got really hot and then I debated whether to turn on the fan. And I was like, why am I choosing to be uncomfortable when the fan is right there? Okay. Why? Right foot on the ground. Turn your left knee out. Establish strength and stability with your right leg, and then flex your left foot, cross your left ankle over your right thigh. Okay, sink your hips back, bend the right knee, notice, is it appropriate to go hinge at the hips, bring the fingertips to the floor or to props in front of you. Notice, pause, and then the next step would be to walk the hands forward. Try to lift the left shin high up on the back of the arms, almost up to the armpits. Hook the left foot to the outside of the right upper arm. Shift the upper body weight forward, lift up off of the right toes, and then possibly as you shift the upper body weight forward, extend the right leg back. Lift through the right inner thigh for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Get out of there, wherever there was. Wherever there was, leave it. Okay. Whew. I don't know about you, but I'm ready to do some lunges. Okay, so we had this sequence yesterday. I'm going to do it. Yesterday we did it in 2 parts. Today we're going to get it done in 1 part. That's the 75-minute promise. Okay, so if you have blocks or a block, bring your block to the top of your mat. And let's just unceremoniously bring the right foot forward and lunge the left leg back. Bring your hands to either side of your right leg as you come into your long stride. So you want your knee over your ankle, your toes pointing forward, right thigh parallel to the floor, left leg extended back. Lift through the left inner upper thigh. Shoulders away from the ears. Feel your feet on the floor and then scissor them together so that your left hip draws forward, left foot draws forward, your right hip and your right foot draw back to square the hips and tone the legs. From here, hands to the hips, draw back through the sides of the waistline, lengthen the tailbone down, draw back through the sides of the waistline, upper body erect, upright, arms at your sides. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead. Exhale, open the chest towards the right wall, arms down to the height of the shoulders. Inhale, face forward. Exhale, open right. Inhale, face forward. Exhale, open right. Last time. Inhale, face forward. And then let's take the hands to the hips, look forward. Step the back foot forward a few inches. And then bend the front knee again, angle the upper body forward. You're gonna launch forward as though launching an airplane. And then kick your left leg as you move your chest forward and parallel to the floor. Lift the back thigh parallel with the earth. Lift through your right outer hip. Extend your heart forward as you push back through your left foot, warrior 3 pose. Keep your hands on your hips to keep your hips honest. Have a little sense of humor. Okay, arms back, chest forward, arms out, chest forward, arms forward, chest forward. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So if you have a block at the top of your mat, bring your right hand to the block in front of your right foot. Left hand to your hip, and then stack your left hip on top of your right hip, coming into a half moon pose, Ardha Chandrasana. Stack the hips, stack the shoulders, lift into the right thigh, extend the left arm to the sky, broaden across the chest. As you reach up, you might start to turn the gaze up. Push back through the left foot, extend through the crown of the head. Okay, from here, look back down. Left hand back to the hip, wrap the outer hip down, take the hips to equal height, and then take the left hand to a block or the same block. Switch the left hand to the block as you revolve your left ribs towards the right wall. Keep the hips at an even height as you now try to stack your right shoulder on top of your left shoulder. Push down through your standing leg, lift through the back thigh of the back leg, the inner thigh of the back leg. Right arm goes up, maybe gaze goes up into this revolved half moon pose. Hips are squared forward, chest opening towards the right wall, and then hands come back to the floor. Lunge the left foot back. Back into your lunge. Arrive. Do it. Do it, people. Don't shortchange yourself. This is a great lunge, this lunge. Okay, right, send the right hip back, round the spine, tuck the chin to the chest, pyramid pose. Might feel a nice stretch along the front of the right ankle as you round the spine here. And then step the left foot forward. And again, unceremonious transition into the second side lunge. Knee over the heel. Hands frame the front foot, either on fist, fingertips, or blocks. Left thigh parallels to the floor so there's a weightiness to the hips as you lift and lighten through the back inner thigh. Alright, collarbones broad, shoulders away from the ears. Pull the right foot forward so the right outer hip wraps forward. Pull the left foot isometrically back so the left hip draws back, squaring the hips, toning the legs. Keep that, hands to hips, elbows toward the ceiling, draw back through the sides of the waistline. Lengthen the tailbone down, draw the lower ribs in and back, chest upright and facing forward. Arms to the sides, shoulders roll back. Inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, open left. Inhale, face forward. Exhale, open left. Inhale, face forward. Exhale, open left. Inhale, face forward. And then hands back to the hips. Look forward and jump the back foot forward a few inches. Lean the upper body over the left shin. And then as the upper body shifts forward, the back inner thigh lifts the back leg. Chest parallel to the floor, thigh parallel with the floor. Lift into the left kneecap, lift into the left hip. With the hands on the hips, try to square the hips so that they're at an even height. Warrior 3, arms back. Collarbones broad, arms out. Arms forward, gaze forward, reach with the fingertips, reach with the heart, push back through the right foot, lift through the right inner thigh. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Left hand to the block, right hand to the right hip. Keeping the left toes turning forward, begin to stack your hips, stack your shoulders right on top of left. Lift into your left kneecap. Right arm to the sky. Keep the distance from your left hip to your left armpit, the same distance as your right side body. Have a good sense of humor about balance. So in that instance, when you fall out of the pose, your immediate reaction might be an expletive. And if we take the time to temper our reaction, reroute our reaction to something playful, to something productive. Okay, hand to the hip. Turn the right outer hip down, hips at the same height, right hand to the block or to the floor. Left hand to the left hip. Keep the hips at an equal height. Again, this is a revolved pose, a revolved half moon pose. So as the hips face forward, parallel with the earth, the chest is going to turn towards the left wall. Revolve your right ribs towards the left shoulder onto the back, stack your shoulders, left arm up, maybe even gaze up, forward with the crown of the head, back with the tailbone, push back with the sole of the right foot for 5, 4, 3, 2, and unwind. Lunge the right foot back. Don't miss this. Back to your lunge. Hips and chest squared forward, shoulders away from the ears. Push the hips back, round through the left big toe, lift into the kneecap, round the spine. Breathe along the back of the left leg. Notice if there's an opening across the top of the left ankle. Slow and deepen the breathing. And push back. Downward facing dog. Hands down forward, hips up and back. Lengthen your spine. Inhale, shift forward into a plank. Shoulders over the wrist. Shoulders, hips, and heels in a line. Option to go down to your knees if the hips are sagging. We're going to do some Side plank. Inhale, roll to the outside of the right foot, inside of the left leg, sweep the left arm up, lift into the hips. Exhale, plank pose. Inhale, right arm lifts. Exhale, plank pose. Inhale, outside of the right foot, left arm lifts, left leg lifts. Optional. Hand down, plank. Inhale, right arm up. Lift the right leg. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Forgot we were moving with breath. Plank pose. Okay, one more round. Outside the right foot, left arm lifts, left leg lifts. Optional. Exhale. Inhale, right arm, right leg. Get silly. Back to plank, knees down. Tilt your tailbone towards the ceiling as though you're doing cow pose in the low back. Chin and chest forward, shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, lower the chin and chest in tandem to the floor. Elbows hugging towards the side ribs. And then slide forward onto your belly, arms at your sides. Lift your legs one at a time. Point back through each toe, laying the top of the leg long against the floor. Ground through the tops of the feet, toning the legs, lifting the kneecaps. Lengthen back through your tailbone, and then scoop your tailbone forward so you feel the front of your pelvis push down into the mat as your kneecaps continue to lift. Lower abdomen in and up. Try to get your low belly away from the floor. Interlace your fingers behind your back. Point your elbows to the sky. Hug your shoulder blades together behind your heart. Inhale, begin to peel your chin and chest away from the floor. Reach your knuckles towards the back of the room. Collarbones broaden, heart expands forward. Now, option 2, squeeze the legs together. Lift the feet, lift the lower thighs, lift the middle thighs, lift the upper thighs away from the floor. Use the strength of your back body to lift your front body. One more, biggest breath in. And exhale, let it go. Left cheek to the floor, head to the arm bones forward, big toes touch, heels widen apart, head heavy, neck soft, upper back broad. Return to your breath. Option to enjoy. Option to be present with the experience of your body in this resting shape, in this passive place. Again, chin to the floor. Extend back through your legs, ground the feet, lift the kneecaps, tuck the tailbone forward, lower ribs in and back. Interlace your fingers with the opposite thumb in front. Elbows towards the ceiling, shoulder blades on the back. Inhale, peel the chin and chest away from the floor. Collarbones broad. Use the strength of the upper back to open and lift the heart. Reach back through the knuckles, expand forward through the heart. Either choose to stay with the feet apart and grounded, or squeeze the legs together. Begin to lift the feet, the lower thighs, middle thighs, upper thighs away from the floor. Contracting the back body to strengthen the back body and open the front body. Breathe, soften the edges of your mouth, draw back through the sides of the neck, lift through the crown of the head for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Right cheek now to the floor, head to the arm bones forward. Big toes touch, heels widen apart, head heavy, neck soft, arms heavy, upper back broad, big toes touch, lower back broadens. Arrive in this moment. Okay, I've got a while. said this yesterday. I said I had a wild hair and I made a pun out of it. This time I'm not making a pun. I've got a wild hair to do a pose that has always eluded me. But we're going to do a leg lift with the arms tucked under the body. So you're going to kind of negotiate your shoulders underneath you. So kind of the opposite of how you move the shoulders in bridge pose. So the arms are going to tuck underneath the body. My fingertips are under my hands are under my thighs, palms cupping the floor, pinky fingers side by side. So I'm kind of rocking my body side to side to bury my arms underneath my torso. And then my chin starts on the mat, but actually my mouth is going to go to the mat. So hopefully your mat is clean. If it's not, you might place something between your mouth and the mat. Head to the arm bones, curl forward. Squeeze your legs together, point your toes back, and then you're going to shift weight forward, 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 forward. As you lift the legs, point the toes back, lift the legs, push down with the feet. This always reminds me of Emily. Emily, if you're out there, I'm picturing you doing this pose just beautifully. Push down with your hands, lift through your thighs, lengthen through your legs, shift forward with your shoulders. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Right cheek to the floor, untuck your arms, big toes touch, heels widen apart. Let the experience of that pose resonate in your body. Try not to attach to judgment, to performance. Where has the experience brought you? Reflect on the experience. And then I was thinking about this when I was lying here a moment ago and thinking, oh, I love just lying here. There's also this pitfall of getting attached to the lying here. So can we be present? Can we be grateful for the moment, even if the moment is fleeting? Without, again, that pitfall of attachment. Okay, one more time. Chin to the floor to begin. Okay, so describing this better. Look this time. I'm kind of bringing my knees forward to lift my hips up, and then I'm going to shimmy my arms underneath me. I kind of forgot that step as I don't practice this often. So I'm reaching my fingertips towards my knees as I tuck my arms underneath my torso, and then I'm going to extend my legs back. Gripping the mat with my hands, pinky fingers side by side, and then I'm going to turn my mouth down to the mat, wrap my arms forward, and then inhale, lift the legs, point the toes, lift the legs, shift the shoulders, forward, 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 push down with the hands, squeeze the legs, lift the thighs, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Untuck the arms, right cheek to the floor, heads the arm bones forward, big toes touch, heels widen apart, release the head, relax the neck, arrive. Okay, chin to the floor, tuck the toes, plant the hands, and then come to a kneeling position. So this was actually the wild hair that I had yesterday to do rabbit pose. So let's do rabbit pose one time. Get yourself reoriented here into a seated position. Taking a moment for the blood circulation to, I want to say normalize, to reorient. Okay, so reach back with the hands, touching the heels. If you can, grip the heels. My arms are not long enough to grip the heels quite yet. But Shin to chest, hinge at the hips, fold forward, round the spine, draw the forehead towards or to the knees, and then try to touch down the head lightly on the mat. Now, it's more accessible to grab the outsides of the heels, wrapping the fingertips to the insides of the heels. And now I'm going to lift the hips, drop the belly button strongly in towards the spine, push down with the feet, push down with the shins, lift into the hips, and hopefully there's a sense of opening in the upper back as the shoulders are pulled apart, and maybe a sense of lengthening or opening between the vertebrae along the back side of the spine. Rabbit pose, this is called. Slowly sit the hips back down, plant the hands, round up through the spine. Brief neutralization of the spine. Lower ribs in and back, tailbone down, collarbones broad, and then swing the legs forward. Told you I wasn't gonna keep, I told you couldn't trust me on my promise to keep this 75 minutes. I actually kind of forgot when the 75-minute mark was. Okay, let's start cooling down. Arms at a T, feet as wide as the mat. Exhale, let the knees fall to the right. Hook the right ankle to the outside of the left thigh. Let the weight of the right leg pull the left inner thigh down. Experiencing perhaps a stretch along the front of the left hip. Arrive, 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 arrive. Okay, unhook, re-square. With an exhale, release the knees to the left. Hook the left ankle to the outside of the right thigh this time. Release the weight of the leg so the right inner thigh is pulled towards the floor. There's a nice extension across the front of the right hip. Arms are heavy, chest is broad, head is heavy, neck is soft. Cross, draw your knees back to center, and then slowly lift the feet off the floor, cup the knees with the hands and push the knees into the hands. Rock the knees side to side, giving the low back a little massage against the floor. Pressure to one side and then the other side of the sacral spine. Draw the knees in and up towards the armpits. Grab the outer edges of both feet for happy baby. Full on happy baby pose. Shifting side to side. Inner feet together. Interlace, soles of the feet together, interlace the fingers around the outer edges of the feet and come to a reclined bound angle pose. Extension through the inner thighs, contraction through the outer hips, lengthening down through the low back. And last but not least, before Savasana, bring the knees together and wrap your arms around the fronts of your legs, grabbing wrists, forearms, or elbows, and hugging in to yourself. Thank you. Thank you, Meg, for practicing. Thank you. Say your name. This is turning into a Dora the Explorer episode. Tuck your tailbone towards your heels, squeeze your legs in, pull into a tight space, and then begin to release out of that grip. Okay, we did not do an inversion today, so you might take that as homework. You might take a blanket or a hard pillow to the wall So take your time here. This is, I'm going to read that quote again, but Savasana is kind of it's like an extension of that reflected, non-reactionary time. So this is, this is our opportunity to practice the harnessing of our powers. So if you are taking legs up the wall, it's kind of a shimmy for me. I have legs up the wall. My blanket's at the wall. My hips are on the height of my blanket, and my rib cage is on the mat. Also in this pose, if you like, what can be extra nice here is to take a strap around your ankles, create a loop in the strap which keeps the ankles about hip width distance apart, and that way there's no worry of releasing the legs and having them fall down. So it kind of keeps the legs together, and you can really get a deep sense of release. Arms at your sides, tuck the shoulders very gently underneath your chest to create like a cushioning effect for your chest, and an opening effect for the heart. Close your eyes. You might place an eye pillow or a blanket over your eyes. And I'll read that quote that I read on the live stream. I'll read that again. Between stimulus and response, there is space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. So consider perhaps that this can act as that space between stimulus and response. An opportunity to absorb the energy that you have harnessed, that you have generated throughout the practice, that you have been a conduit of throughout the practice. We can practice this stillness here. Might we begin to expand this sense of peace, this access to peacefulness as we move out into the challenges of our world. Whether these be global or national challenges, or whether they just be the challenges of your relationships. If you would like to occupy this space for a longer period, please stop the streaming or pause the recording. Otherwise, join me in bringing a hand to the abdomen, a hand to the chest. Begin to breathe more deeply, drawing air in through the nostrils, inflating the abdomen and then the chest. And then with the exhale, allow the chest to fall and the abdomen to draw in. If you have legs up the wall, slide the feet down the wall. If you have a strap, remove it. Bend the knees, extend the right arm along the right ear, and roll onto your right side, keeping your eyes closed. Being present in this transition from our corpse pose into this fetal position. Push your way back to a comfortable seated position. We won't be here long. Get that sense of rooting through the legs and hips as you grow tall along the spine. Hands together at heart center. We'll close practice with the single sound of Om. Exhale and inhale for Om. Thank you for your presence, either with the live stream or with any of the recordings I've made. I appreciate your focus, your dedication, and your hard work throughout the practice. The light in me recognizes and honors the light in you. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to stop this and, Oh no, I didn't record it. Okay, well, I'll try again tomorrow with the podcast. Well, it's not like there's any lack of me recording myself doing yoga out there, so for those podcasters, they can find another day to do. Yeah, thank you guys for being here. Please, anybody, hi, Scotty and Jeffrey. I thought you guys were doing the Wednesday class. Cool to see you here on Tuesday morning. Thanks for checking in. Yeah, I don't even think to look at that anymore until the end. So, but thank you for being here, and hope you enjoyed the class. Let me know if there's anything you'd like to work on for the future, any areas of the body or just specific postures. Love to hear from you guys. Again, that was great to get that quote from Lisa. It's nice to be here with you in this format. It's really great also to connect with people across the country. I'd like to say across the globe, but I don't know that I have any international viewers. If you're an international viewer and I don't know about you, please get in touch. Okay, have a great day, everyone.